Hey, I'm Dominique and this is Dom Creates, where I talk about creating my purposeful life. Now that's gonna look a little bit different for you and that is okay, but I talk about everything from marriage, motherhood, to mental health, my career, and all the fun stuff in between. In this particular video, I'm talking about how I choose my theme word for the year. So for 2023, my word was disrupt. I know that can sound a little bit weird, but I'll get into that a little bit later. I have a 3.5 step system that I use, and we're gonna get into that now. So it all starts with this book. So I call her my fairy godmother. Her name is Jen Gonzalez. She was a mentor of mine when I was in school and a fresh new grad out of university. She introduced me to this book called The Desire Map by Danielle LaPorte. Now this is not about Danielle LaPorte or any of the things that she says or does today, because I don't know, I don't still follow her. But back in 2013 when this book came out, this was kind of like a handbook for me. It's all about figuring out your core desired feelings. So the mindset is, if you can figure out how you essentially want to feel, it's going to guide all of your decisions, all the events you attend, where you work, the partners, the friends that you have in your life, because it's all going to drive that core desired feeling, and you know how you truly want to feel, so you're going to know where you want to be, who you want to be with. So that's also how I choose my word for the year. It's essentially my core desired feeling. So the first thing that I do is I get 5 pieces of paper and I write down 5 different areas of my life on each one of these papers. So I'm gonna look at my phone a little bit to pull up what those areas are. So the first area is livelihood and lifestyle. That includes career, money, gifts, travel, style, home, space, gift. I said gifts, right? Gifts are important. I'll say them twice. That's my love language personally, so I'll say it twice. The second area is body and wellness. That's healing, fitness, food, sensuality, movement. Okay, the third one is creativity and learning. So we have education, artistic and self-expression, interests and hobbies. And especially as adults, the further you get away from school, the harder it is to make time for those hobbies, to remember what it is that brought you joy when you were a kid, when you had extra time to dedicate to yourself. So really focusing in on what your hobbies are, what your core desired feelings are. Then we have relationships and society, including romance, friendship, family, collaboration, community, and causes. And finally, we have essence and spirituality. So this is not just for the religious, this is also for anyone who wants to go deeper into their self-expression, self-understanding, into their faith, into their hope in the world. Let's be so for real. So that includes soul, inner self, truth, intuition, faith, and practices. So after I take my first step and have these 5 different areas of my life, I guess this is still in the first step, around these areas of my life, I write down word associations. So knowing that I'm focusing on livelihood, for example, I'll write down words, feelings, images, emotions, song associations. I'll write down random things that drive how I want to feel in that area. And I'll do that for each page. Moving on to step 2, I'll open up a thesaurus and I'll dedicate about 5 minutes to each one of these pages. So yeah, this does take a bit of time. But set the mood, set your lighting, light a candle, play a playlist. I have a playlist called I Am Affirmed. I'll link it down below. I love it. It has trap, R&B, it has Renaissance on there, because let's be honest, the Renaissance album is one big affirmation at the end of the day. I'm that girl. So really set the mood, dedicate 5 minutes to each one of these pages and go deeper into some of the words that I've written. So for example, if I've written authentic, I'll open up my thesaurus and see what are some other words correlated with that can go deeper into that feeling that I'm trying to get to. So authentic, it might bring up genuine, it might bring up honesty, it might bring up transparency. What are some other words and what am I truly trying to get to here? But I try to limit myself to just 5 minutes, because that can go on for hours, let's be honest. So that's step number 2. Step number 3, which is one of the final steps, is circling the words that keep coming up as patterns on all the 5 pages. So I mentioned the word authentic. If that came up in body and wellness, and also essence and spirituality, and also in relationships. That's clearly a pattern for me. That's clearly something I'm striving to feel in every area of my life. So I'm going to circle that and put it in its own new list. The goal here is to come up with a list that's, shorter. Sometimes it'll be like 10 words, 7 words, what have you. But really like try to meditate on these words and figure out like what's the pattern here and what am I truly trying to get down into. My ultimate goal is to always come down to one word so that drives my entire year. Maybe you have 3, maybe you got 5, maybe you got a phrase at the end of the day, whatever it is that like truly feels authentic. Am I gonna use that word again? But feels right for you, run with that. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, my word for 2023 was disrupt. And that can have a lot of negative connotations. Like this person is disrupting my peace. But for me, I've worked in the tech industry in the past. And when you think about being a disruptor in the tech world, it's about innovation. It's about improving something that already exists and introducing technology into that to improve what already exists there. And it's also back in 2020. So the last time you saw me on this channel, I had my baby in February, and then the pandemic was announced a week later in March. And then a few months later, that same year, my husband was diagnosed with cancer. He is okay. He is cancer-free, we thank God. But it was a difficult stage, a difficult couple of years. And I was very much in survival mode. I was trying to get day to day with my mindset. It was really hard sometimes to just wake up and show up for my family, for myself. So coming into 2023, what I really wanted to do was to disrupt that thinking, was to disrupt my mindset of being just in survival mode and to start trying to thrive again. I mean, I was in a space where I couldn't even picture myself thriving and having goals and looking forward to life and possibilities. And that's what I really wanted to disrupt in 2023. So in my next video, I'm going to be talking about some of the goals that I put forward with that core feeling in mind, with disruption as my goal. And you're gonna see my bingo card. I saw a really cool TikTok, you've probably seen it too because it went viral, of this girl who created a bingo card for her goals to gamify some of her goal setting for the year. So I'll be talking about some of my goals, how I did. But if you also create a theme word for the year, I would love to know what it was for 2023 in the comments, or if you haven't, what you're thinking about for 2024. My sister shared that her word was renaissance, which I think is dope. I'm also kind of thinking about opulence as a possibility. So yeah, I would love to continue the conversation in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.